Hey there, folks. Let's go to CSSBattle.dev and do the daily target. Well, isn't that something? So that's a bunch of stripes. And they're offset in really interesting ways. So let's make one of these first. Yeah, let's make one of these first. There's actually a few different ways to do this. So we can do linear gradients to create these, interestingly enough. So we can do linear gradient that's just that edge and then cover it up with something at an angle, at a 90-degree angle to the rest of it. We don't really want to do that. So let's keep it simple. I think the simplest course is a repeating linear gradient. So to do that, we're going to put that on the paragraph element, and we're going to go ahead and put that here. 100, 100, no, 6, 7, 65, 65, and then we make it taller. 200 tall, no, 170 tall, 170 tall, okay, and then 100 on the sides, 20, 22. Okay, now that we've got that, we're going to create a repeating linear gradient. Repeating linear gradient, and for each one we need color stops, two values. So white 0, 30 pixels, and then transparent 0, 60 pixels. Is that right? That's not right. All right, so let's make this. So the second one is, what's 70? There it is. Boom, we did it. So that paragraph element now has that aspect. So what do we need to do? If we do a -170 and then create a second one and a third one, say B and C. And then we're going to do some transforms on the other ones. So B, we'll say transform, rotate 30 degrees, maybe 20 degrees. And then what? Translate. Just keep it, and I guess, we don't necessarily need this. -170, -200, 10, 20, 30, 40, 38. So essentially what I've done is I've negated the margins. So I think what that means is that the margins are such that each subsequent one is we need to do, so the way we've got it, we can't distinguish which one's which. So let's do an outline, 1 pixel solid red on the second one. There it is, and it is in exactly the right spot. And then the next one we'll do yellow, and that's also in the same spot. So this -235 is forcing them all to be in the same spot without doing a position absolute. So we're tricking the browser into overlapping. So if this is not appropriate creation of web pages, really, because you don't want things overlapping, because that's sort of ridiculous, but it can be very useful to force things to all be in the same spot. So let's make this translate be what, -100 pixels? Yeah, okay. And then this translate is going to be probably plus and then it's minus 20 degrees. Okay. Now that we've got that, we don't need these outlines because we can definitely see that we're doing something. How about 150? 150. That kind of worked. And then how about on the y-axis? Okay. And is that's going to be the same value. Okay. We got kind of what we're doing. So that angle's not right. 1, 2, 19, 18, 17, 16. We want those all to be parallel lines. Oh, so it's minus 16. 16 and minus 16. Okay, now these are the tricky ones. You know, when we move the x and y's of this, because of the rotation. Oh, and this actually brings up a very good point. This would be easier if we move the translate first. I think. Yeah. So oh, it's so close. And then that shows, I think, that the angle is wrong. How about 14, 15, 50? So it's 15-degree shift. Let's submit and see if we're 100%. We might be. We are. I love that. I know how to do this. That's great. These are, so these angular ones where you've got stripes that are going at an odd angle, very, very tricky to do. Very, very tricky. I made it look easy, but it is not easy at all. Okay? Like, don't feel bad about that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this translate onto the original element, and I'm going to have this be a variable. So var, and I only need the one thing, so I can do what? I can do translate var a for angle or 0. And then a rotate of, and I'll do, just to be cute, we'll do calc of 15 degrees times var R for rotate. Is that right? Oh, and we do it as minus 15 degrees. And let's set A is 0 and R is also 0. So can we do this in a way that we don't have to do anything fancy? So we might have too many parentheses. That's possible. Rotate, open paren, open paren, open paren, and then we need 2 close parens. I think that's correct. Okay, so now I need A of oh, I also need a calc here, don't I? Ha ha ha. Calc 170 pixels times var A. Oh, I have maybe have ruined everything. That's possible. So the translate, I got two transforms. So I think I'm trying to be a little too clever here. We might have to go backward. rotate of a calc minus 15 degrees times var. There we go. So that means I only need one variable. A, and I don't need an R. So I've set a variable, and then using the magic of algebra, created calculations that create the right and left ones that are rotated and moved. Yes, and I definitely need to move them on the x-axis, which is what that number is. And I don't need a second value because translate will take two values, but the second one is a y value, and we're not making any change there because of the way we did this. All right, so that means we can trim off a bunch of things here. Let's resubmit and make sure we're still at 100%. I didn't ruin anything. Yeah, so let's minify unit replace, and that's a nice terse to my way of thinking way to do this. It's a good chunk of code. Can I change that to be an ampersand? Yes, I can. I think that's it. There was a question yesterday about the solution for cloud-shaped items. It was the phrasing of the question. I'm sorry, I can't remember the person who asked about that. I probably will do, and it's about this one here. What are the other options for creating these shapes? And I don't know that I'm going to get to another video about that, but I would say that my answer to that is to look at, and I will reply to the questioner. You're going to be looking at clip paths. You're going to be looking at masks. You're going to be looking at a clip path with shape and a clip path with circle. And masked would be radial gradients, just like this. So you're going to create one at a time. There's several different ways to do it, but you know, it is a complicated one in terms of how to do that. Border radius can create effects like that. It's a little trickier because normally border radius wants to make rounded edges, and those, you'll note, don't have rounded edges, right? They come to a hard stop and then have a curve, and that makes it a little more complicated. Doesn't mean it's not impossible, not possible. With some clever usages of those things, you can absolutely get those effects, but that's probably a deeper dive than I'm ever likely to do in my videos. But I think it's a great question. It has me thinking about other kinds of videos that are more generic. Let's talk about a particular technique, or let's talk about a particular shape and all the different ways you might do it. So, you know, like, so yeah. So but for that the question was about that shape with the rounded top and flat sides, and there's probably even other ways to do that. I mean, and obviously you can think about SVGs, which is out of scope, not a thing that I do in these videos, because I find working with SVGs in that way a little trickier. But you can learn to write an SVG by hand. There is a distinction in CSS Battle about the usage of SVG, so you know, not for everyone, but that's a thing to think about as well. I don't know that I really answered your question very well. Sorry about that, but I will try to see what I can do. And if you've got suggestions in the comments about other kinds of videos that you'd be interested in to talk about the techniques, I know that I go a little fast when I do these. I try to explain as best as I can, but whether I'm able to relate it in a way that you can understand, it's a little tricky. I would say that open up CSS Battle for the targets that I do and code along, and then experiment. That's the advice that I would actually give in terms of, hey, can I really teach you how to do that? I don't know if I can. Like, I'm taking a shot, but teaching a student is more than one way. Me just talking to you is not teaching, right? and you just watching this video is not learning. But there's a part of ingesting, like, okay, here's what the syntax is. Okay, here's when I'm talking through the things that I'm doing, you can get ideas for how to do that yourself. But whether that's general knowledge that's going into your brain and you're getting smarter, some of that's going to be on you as the student. If I'm the teacher, maybe I'm not, and you're the student, maybe you're not. That's a whole other kind of conversation. I hope that's a useful answer. It's all I can really do. I got a really busy week coming here, but again, questions in the comments I will try to address as best I can. And I think that's it. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other, and go make a web page. Bye-bye.